Well, reverse mortgages are definitely in the news again. So I thought I'd bring on our expert, Michael, to go over the basics. So let's get Michael up here. So Michael, what's going on, man?
Hey, Rocco, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about some of the basics when it comes to reverse mortgages. And really, I got four questions, and the final one I think is the coolest, and that is, can you buy a home with a reverse mortgage? But let's start out with something simple. So let's keep it with really basic. What is a reverse mortgage in its most simplest sense?
So, in its most simple sense, Rocco, a reverse mortgage is a FHA mortgage, is a home equity mortgage with
Okay.
no monthly payments of principal or interest required.
Okay, so you can get your equity out of the home that you own with no payments required back. So when are the payments required back? Like, how is a reverse mortgage paid back?
Yeah, exactly. Good question. It's not some it's too good to be true type deal. There is a payment required. So basically, what happens is when the loan is closed. So if that's the borrowers want to sell and move, if they pass away, or any other circumstance that would close the loan, at that point, what they've borrowed plus the interest would be paid back. So you'd call for a payoff like any other mortgage. And then if there's any equity on top of that, and they want to sell the home, they can certainly do that. Same thing if they leave it to their family in a will or to an estate, the estate can sell the home, keep the equity, or they can pay back the amount that was borrowed against the house, whether through cash or maybe a mortgage refinance if they want to continue living in the house themselves.
Okay, so to recap, it is paid back, but it's paid back whenever you either sell the home or you move out of the home. It's not your primary residence, or you pass away, but you still get to leave it to your family if you wish. And at that point, they have the option to do a new loan to pay off that reverse mortgage and keep any equity in the home. Or they can literally just sell the home and keep any equity after the reverse mortgage is paid off. Is that a good summary?
Exactly. That is exactly a good summary.
Okay, Michael. So let's say you do a reverse mortgage for me, right? So what are really my responsibilities when I, as a borrower, have a reverse mortgage?
So pretty much the same responsibilities of that any homeowner has, especially any FHA mortgage homeowner. Maintain the property to livable conditions. I think whether you have a mortgage or not, you're going to want to do that. Um, Property taxes, those don't stop whether you have a mortgage or not. And then homeowners insurance. So you want to protect your investment, protect your home. So that's pretty much all that's required.
Okay, so really not much. It's going to be the same stuff you would normally do, probably if you didn't even have a loan. You're going to pay homeowners insurance on the home in case it burns down. Got to pay property taxes because you got to pay those no matter what. And if something happens, like a repair for the home, I'm still responsible for that as the homeowner, not the reverse mortgage company. Is that accurate?
Yes, and one thing I think I may have forgot is it does need to be your primary residence, so your main house, that you live there about 6 months a year at least.
Okay, primary residence. Well, speaking of primary residence, can I use a reverse mortgage to buy a primary residence?
Yes, yes, and yes. That is one of the newer, more popular uses.
Okay,
Actually came about from the Housing and Economic Recovery Act.
okay.
So instead of withdrawing one big lump sum out of your current house, you can buy a new house and put down a one-time payment, and then the reverse will pay the rest. So, okay, thank you. You pulled up a little chart here to help me out.
Good.
Um, as you can see, let's say your borrower uh, or you're a realtor and your customer wants to buy a $300,000 house. Instead of them having to withdraw 300,000 from their checking account or retirement in order to not have a monthly payment, they can put down a portion of that, and the reverse will take the rest. So in this case, that this borrower would be putting down about 60%, about 197,000, and the reverse mortgage would pick up the rest of that tab for them, and they would have no monthly mortgage payment. And as you can see, as you get a little bit older, the down payment required goes down, and then as you go to a higher house, the percentages are still the same, but just more money that you're able to keep in your pocket and more liquidity options for retirement.
Okay, so let me see if I can recap everything, Michael. So, number one, which I think is the coolest, you can use a reverse mortgage to buy a house. Depending on your age, that really determines how much money you're going to have to put down on the reverse mortgage as a down payment to not have any payments. But even when you do that, and let's say you pass away or you move or you sell the home, that reverse mortgage becomes due. And at that point, your estate or the people you leave it to still have the option to keep that home, either by doing a new mortgage to pay off the reverse mortgage. But even if they don't do that and there's still equity left in the home, they can sell it and keep that equity for themselves. And then as a person who has a reverse mortgage, you still have some basic responsibilities, but they're almost universal responsibilities for owning a property, Michael. Like, sounds like, your utilities, your insurance, your taxes, normal repairs that go up. So does that kind of sum it all up into one little nutshell?
That really did. That really does. And there's a lot of stuff, a lot of details and stuff. So, if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me on the reverse mortgage. Reach out to Rocco.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thanks again for having me.
Michael, that was great info. Thanks for speaking with me. If you're out there and you're buying a property in Oklahoma or have questions about a reverse mortgage, let's talk. Reach out to Michael and myself. We'll explain the lending process, what type of loans to consider, such as reverse mortgages, current rates, financing questions of any type. No pressure, just clear answers to your questions. Thank you.
Thanks again.